was about 13 and went out of the woods with a friend of mine, an elder of mine, so to speak, who is not important who it is, but went out to check his marijuana crop back in Florida. We go out there, and I assume we're out there to check his plants, you know, make sure he's got his good buds coming, man. But he was just a personal consumer, and it's his plan. So we go out there, and there's all these big, beautiful plants, these big green leaves, and just, I mean, wow, I was like, damn, man, you really tend the gardens, so to speak. And he walks over to his plants, and I'm kind of minding my own business out there. And really, I know it's illegal, so I'm kind of looking around too, like, man, get me in some trouble. And he walks right over one, and he just kicks it down right at its fulcrum, like that. This is this point at which other positions are decided, you know. And he kicks it square to the ground, and he walks around and does it to everyone. My first thought, I didn't say anything. I figured he's ticked off, or this is a person who had kind of propensity to rage sometimes. And without Pop Boy, he was a real mess. But anyway, so he kicks all these plants to the ground. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? You know, thinking, what's going on here? We get back in the truck, and we're headed out of the woods, and he goes, I said, what was that about? I mean, are you giving up? Are you killing them all? You know, this was the obvious conclusion. And he goes, heck no. He's like, I'm making them right. And I was like, what do you mean? He said, when something like a plant, he said, it's got a certain thing it's going to become inside of it, right? And unless it's humbled, it doesn't do right. It doesn't bud right. It doesn't come out in the way of perfectly utilizing all of its strength because it's not humble. So I said, so you mean to tell me you're out there humbling those plants? He said, pretty much. And what it does when you do that to one of those plants is and you do it right prior to budding, like right when it thinks it's got it all figured out, comes in and you just bash that sucker to the ground. What that does is tells the nature of that plant that opposition comes against things, and so for it to just at that point give its best. And that's what he does. And he learned that when however he did, he learned that, well, when I kick this plant to the ground like that, this sucker buds like crazy. It's like, he said, it's twice the yield and twice the quality of what he is going for in that plant. And I didn't know that, you know. And I couldn't help but draw this parallel to life. I didn't really do it at that time. But now I do, you know, because when you do that, it causes the roots to dig deeper, and it causes tendrils to even seek new water, and it causes the leaves to open wider, and it just hyper expands all of its life seeking. And so thereby the buds come out, and he makes more money, or he gets more high, or whatever that was for him. This is not about that, but you know, the story is what it is. And so the parallel was drawn when we went through our stuff, and that's when I'm going to start telling that story now. And it's kind of ugly, man. It's hard to say because we have some honest truths to tell about ourselves that suck, and that we're hard as heck, man. And we want to say these things, as embarrassing as they are and as humbling as they are, because we feel like that's what God's ready to do in our lives, is just like empty out all these bags and tell the truth on everything, and just be in this place of like not having to be sick with secrets, you know. Like secrets are disgusting and they hurt, and I believe that the experiences people have are of intense value to other people, because I have a sneaking suspicion that when everybody goes home, not every door is without tears behind it, you know, and not everything is like it looks. And not everything is as beautiful as people want to make it seem. But I realized something, that the beauty is in the truth, period. You know, it's in the truth. And we had faced with some hard freaking truths, man. Shit. And I don't like it. And I didn't like it, but I realized what it was now is these things are being burned off, and I've been brought to this place where I can just be honest and not care, because I don't need your subscribership. You know, I want it, you know, obviously, because we want to keep doing this thing and we need support, and, you know, make a pittance off of YouTube. You know, I don't feed miles and buy gas. It's just, you know, I guess if you get really big or something like that, or obviously you do, but that's not even the goal, man. That'd be a nice thing, of course, because, but it's hard work. It's extremely hard. Like, people don't realize how hard. Shit, I didn't. I work every day 14 to 20 hours just to manage all this crud, you know, and for nothing, pittance. And I gotta get this bike inspected here, so I'm gonna be right back. But I got some stuff to say. I got some people to talk to too, and it's not gonna be real pretty, but it'll be beautiful. So I gotta wait for this inspection, and I don't want to wait to say the things I gotta say though. So I gotta wear this helmet because it's the only thing that I have with a microphone. And for those of you that don't know the southern dialect I dip into, is it will be alright. Just a funner way to say it sometimes. So listen, the goal of this is not to offend anyone. It's not. We're just separating some wheat and chaff, you know, in our life. Really, we are. And I got time to lug all this stuff that has no value. And it's what we found ultimately that has value to everybody is just telling the damn truth, man. The burden of secrets, it'll just kill you. It'll eat you up. And it's just not worth it, you know. And sometimes things have to be upset, and you know, in order to speak truth, and because everybody doesn't get it right, man. I don't. I damn sure don't. Hey. Insurance card? Yeah, I got it right here. Hang on. There may be some jump cuts because I'm at an inspection place and they keep coming up asking me questions. I just decided I'm just going to start telling the truth. I'm going to tell the truth about myself and let the cards fall where they will. I'm not coming after anybody, but I'm just saying, if the subject matter that I'm going to have to discuss and my family's going to have to discuss, the purpose of it is to free ourselves of these chains, and maybe if somebody out there, you know, feels the same, they can benefit from it. But we didn't know what to do, but we reached the point where we're like, at all costs, we're redefining this life. And we tried everything the other way, and what it caused in me is running from what's I am and what's inside of me created some ugly stuff, man. I fell off of wanting good, and because I started to use drugs again and became horribly addicted to painkillers. And in the past couple of years, I mean, I've eaten so many Oxycontins and Lortabs and Percocets, I still wonder if I'm going to die. And that's just the truth. And alcohol and whatever I could, cigarette, anything I could, man, to stop the burn, and even knowing it's what's making the burn. It's a tough spot to be in if you're there. I'm telling you, there's hope. There's days that go by there where I was giving all that up, that just unbearable. Unfucking bearable. And if you're there, look at me. You can do it. You can do it. I just don't know how else to say it. And you gotta believe me, it's possible. You'll be convinced you'll never have another good anything. It's a lie. you'll have nights where you just kick and you'll like you're pedaling on a bike. You just can't even believe the anxiety and the lack of control. And I've always told people it feels like you got the worst flu you could imagine. All joy and hope are removed, and you're put on a tilt-a-whirl, and you're with some ass who wants to spin it in the apex of the turns. That's what it feels like for weeks. And then it goes away. You win. And then you find your truth. You find your truth, and you fucking go after it harder and stronger than you've ever even imagined, because that's where the wheat and the chaff separate. You go after it, because that's why you couldn't take the reality to begin with, because you weren't living the reality that you were made to live, and you know it what it is down inside of you. And I knew what it is down inside of me all the time, and that's what I went and did, because I knew I was a dead man if I didn't. I knew I was dead. So I'm talking to you directly. Alcohol, drugs, cocaine, meth, pill, whatever it is, whatever your thing is, you're better and you're bigger and you can beat it. And every moment you spend in it is a lie. And as soon as you're ready to start telling the truth, and for me, that took every good thing being gone. And I have friends that it took being dead to get free from it. You don't have to. It moves on. So if you didn't hear from me, you're wondering, wow, why is all this thing's not the way it was? It's because I decided to live. Now we've decided as a family to start telling the truth about it. 100%. And that's what that's going to look like going forward. And it's going to be told in some of the most amazing places you can imagine. And we've risked everything to do it. Every single thing. We gave up every single thing. And this isn't some martyr tale. This is a tale of survival. I'm not trying to impress you. Trust me, I'm not trying to impress you. These are ugly tales, and they're painful tales. And there's glory under all of them and out through them, but I damn sure didn't see it. And I'm a failure by every standard of 90% of the people watching this. I lost everything. But I'm here to tell you that there is another side. And we're going to start telling that story, and it's going to be ugly, and you're not going to like my language, and I just got to be square with you. I don't give a shit. I don't. I finally reached a point where got so offended in so many ways that I just realized the poison of offense. And I realized the poison of lies, and I realized the poison of pretending things are as they aren't. And I believe that there's a world out there that is desperate for truth. And we're going to go tell the truth. And that's just the bottom line. And before we do that, I really wanted to, and I don't know if I'm going to have this opportunity in this moment right here because this dude's about to walk up, but I want to thank some people. You know, and y'all have heard me say that before. Oh, without you, I'd be dead. Well, I wasn't freaking kidding, man. When I say dead, I mean organ failure, heart failure, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Kidney failure, whatever, all of it. And I didn't give a shit. I couldn't. I was too hurt. I didn't care what happened. I was trying to crawl to a place to leave my ass alone so I could die. That's the truth of it. And the first person who came out, it's hard for me to talk about. First person who came out, Wendy Mignon and Jean Mignon. I'm telling you, you got people out in your community who do what everybody talks about doing. It's just sewing into something. And they truly do. And Wendy reached out to me, and she didn't know I was suicidal. And I didn't know Wendy had lost her brother to suicide. But she sensed something, and she did something about it. And her and John reached out to us, and they were basically like, don't know what's going on, but I hear a spirit of something true in it, and we want to support it. And they did. They don't get nothing from it. Wendy Mignot doesn't need me. I needed what they gave us, though. You know, we have patches on our jackets, all of us. And then it's their patch. And I decided, you know, because what it meant to us, because nobody was on board at the time. No one. They were like, what the hell is going on? And that isn't a discredit to anybody at all. Please hear that. That's not a discredit, because you don't know what's going on. You just don't know what's going on. And they didn't either. And they opted to do that. And I would challenge you to do that for somebody in the community. I beg of you to do it. You think something's wrong? It probably is. Fucking go help. Okay? If you're down, this is my new motto. If you're down, get up. And if you're up, go get somebody down, because that's how they're going to be able to do it. Period. And that's what we're out here doing. And that's why we're doing it. And one of the reasons of how we're doing it is because of Wendy Mignot and John Mignot reaching out to us. And saving our family. And sewing into us. With respect and non-judgment and money. And hope. And it made me think on just this complete darkness. Maybe, just maybe. Possible that there's something good out there, because I just lost some people. I lost all kind of stuff, and that's all coming out, every bit of it, all the good, bad, and the ugly. And so Wendy and John, thank you. And John, you listen to me. Hey man, you listen to me, man. I love you, man. You're a tough son of a bitch. I love it. I love it. Love it. I love it. And Wendy, I got no words for you. I got no words for what you did for me. And I'll never forget. Never. And Bobby, my brother. I'm going to try to make these fast. We were going to leave our home, leave our everything, and just go. Because we knew death was next. And in more ways than you can understand. Are you ready? Get him up! Bobby Johnson, my brother. We were going to leave and just walk out of our house, man. It didn't mean anything to us. It's nothing meant anything. Because we were just broken. And like I said, all that's going to come out. And he thought I was going crazy. I was. Wise man. He came on, he saved my butt. And he's done it more than once in my life. And just want you to know, man, it meant everything. Like, it made this all possible. And this thing's bouncing around. And I just don't have words for gratitude, you know, like what that meant, because I know it went against your judgment. I know, but you saw, thank God you saw, because I was going to fall, Bobby. I was going to fall straight to my death, and I knew it, and you knew it. And so you made this possible too, you know. And Beverly the same, and Brody. I mean, Brody's love for me alone is life altering. And those of you who have some kids in your life who love you, you know what I mean. And Kim, my sister, you have no idea what your strength does for me. You have no idea what your strength does for who and what we want to be in our lives, is for honesty and just to tell the damn truth, even when it hurts. And when we had those recent events in Florida, we had to sneak back into town and rectify those things. You're the people, man. You and Mark are the people that I knew in my heart. Those are the ones that I know stand between me and these things right now that I can't deal with, that I couldn't get around, I couldn't rise above, and you did that, and you threw away your fears too when it was all going on. You threw away your fears for me and said, man, you go, you do what you got to do, you rock this. And I know that was hard to say, because I know you knew, just like everybody else, what it meant for you. It meant that we'd have a season apart, and you and I talk about that a lot. And you never know the depth of gratitude I have for them. You know, and Amber, Garrett, Madison and Brecken, I mean, you know, this sounds kind of silly, but like, in the peak season of camping, you gave us your camper to live in. You know, the best time to go, and you just like, here. You know, I know what you pay for that. Whoa. I know what you pay for that thing, and I know, you know, that it's a hassle. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, man. Garrett, your encouragement, and Amber, the things you said, I know you meant them, and what it meant for us. You guys don't get it, you know, there's no way you could. See, it's hard to illustrate what these things meant to us and what they did for us. So thank you, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Mandy, I mean, for the love of God, woman, you're a stone, man. Moved to a different country to teach English with a 3-month-old kid, or 3 years, I can't remember what he was, but you've always completely proved to the world that your own drum is good, and it's worth a lifetime of dancing to. And you weren't much involved with this situation, but the foundation I have for you for gratitude is just, and no words for that either. So thank you. Joey, Michelle, and Ethan and Nico and Martha. There's not even a way to say it. Nobody knows when you hear the term coming in hot. Yeah, we were coming in hot, all right. I was still trying to find a way to want to live, and you guys took us in, and we invaded your life, a whole slew of us. And that, my friends, you know, you got friends out there. You got friends out there. You fight for them, because buddy, they need you, and you maybe one day you need them. Even, you know, but it matters. That matters, dude. I have 40 years of friendship with this fella. He's, you know, arguably my best friend. You know, like we've been through the most, been through the longest. And I will never take for granted what you did when I had nothing to give you. I didn't even have sense to bathe when you took us in. I didn't give a shit about nothing but trying not to hurt, because it just all got too big for me to know how to not hurt from. Thank you. And Dylan, my daughter. Thank you. You're the most honest, caring person there is. There's maybe people more something, but you put those two together, back off. There ain't nobody can hold gloves to you. Thank you. The purity of your intentions have inspired me to want to be a good man again. And Tanner, dude, if I had a sword, right? I'm not a warrior anymore. I'm moving into a different season in the kingdom, and if I had a sword that fought within all my victories, the honor of handing that sword to you, which I guess I am doing, the honor of handing that sword to you, dude, would be mine, all mine. You had everything to lose to stand between my daughter and what you knew in your heart was wrong and what was bad. And even the things we've argued about and fought about. You chose her. You chose to stand between her and anything that would come and darken it. And dude, you have my heart. You have my heart for that. You're good to my baby. And man, there ain't nothing like that. There is nothing like that comfort and that peace in knowing that. And you're raising up Elizabeth, you know? Thank you, man. I just got no words for how thankful I am for that. Matt Bell. Again, no words, man. Matt, you saved me from the ravages of so many things, dude. You have no idea. You honestly don't. I know we got some scores that both throw up on the boards, you know. This ain't about that. I ain't talking about your score. It's high. He taught me, and most recently, Matt taught me that when we have revenge in our heart and vengefulness, he taught me that it's a wolf puppy. And that we raise it up knowing its power and thinking, knowing its beauty, and thinking it'll serve us, you know, in some way, but because the moment it turns on you and it comes for you to eat you, you realize that you were never raising a companion. It was raising a meal. Had you not been faithful that night and shared that dream with me and what that meant, dude, I don't know where I'd be today yet again, man. And that's just, that's not even a whole tick on the notches on the cane I got for you, brother. That's just a scuff in how many ways you saved me. And the Wogans, Wogan the Conquerors, guys, you started all this in my heart. And I'll never repay that. I'll never, ever, ever repay that. Your friendship, all you guys, and the Copiouses meant everything to me my whole life. Jeremy Acker. Jeremy, you chose to follow and sow into another generation of friendship that is family, you know, like being with Zane and Josie and spending the time and forming those bonds. And man, you guys are going to have that forever. And I know you know that, dude. You have showed me heart. Kid, you have showed me heart. And Ashley, you too. Thank you guys, man. Thank you. And Johnny, T-Rex Racing, one of our sponsors, man. You always downplay it. We're just helping out. We're just doing this. No, man, it's bigger than that for me. And thank you, man. Thank you. Glenn Baker, West Coast Wanderer. You out and about right now touring Australia. And dude, your phone call, you know, you can get it, man. Your voice thing, whatever. I can't remember what it was now. It was life-changing, man. You don't know where you found us. I was a leader, and I was screwed. And here comes this dude, and he speaks life into it out of nowhere. It matters, man. It matters what we do and say. Period. And you opted to take your time. Perfect stranger, you don't know me. Hell, we live... I think you're almost as far away from me as somebody could get. I think I even did the math. And you call from around the world and radically instilled hope. And you don't know that. And you was just being cool, just being kind and honest. And but what it did was changed everything. So thanks, Glenn. Man, may you bust 1 billion bugs, brother. If there's ever anything I can do for you from up top, I guess if you're down under, we're up top, whatever, however that works. We got your back. Kim Maxwell, you're like the third person to come out and say to us, you're not crazy. You got to do something crazy and change and go from the radical norms. Like even people who love and want to respect what you're doing, they're against it because they think that, they're trying, hey, you need to be careful here, like we love you, so we need you to understand some other things than you're understanding right now. So there's nothing wrong with that, and this doesn't speak against that, but there's a boldness to come out and say, hey, no matter what, dude, you're not alone, go. That stuff, it's everything, Kim, so thank you. Fergie, Michael Ferguson. Dude, you have no idea what your encouragement has done for me, man. You have no clue what it's done for me. Because you know what it's like when a family's in jeopardy. And you've been through it. You could have cautioned me on so many things, but you did it. You just spoke life, and you spoke life, and you spoke life. And oh, Lord, I love you, man. I love you, Fergie. KK, you're a stone. I thank you so much for the trust you placed in me with your daughter and Oliver, and the encouragement that you give us. It's just, most of the time everybody's doing what everybody says they ought to do, so it just, there's no contrast by which to get support. You're like, oh, hey, yeah, you're doing perfect in your career. You did really good, and so everybody's happy with you. And so there's no, it's just, yeah, it's important to you when you're appreciated. Don't get me wrong, I'm not comparing my doings to anybody's doings, but just saying that you don't, until you go completely against everything, you don't understand how much support you don't have and how much bullshit is up in it. Because even the people who love you or still, and care about you are like, they're trying to caution you for a good reason because they don't understand what you're doing, and they say, hey, you don't want to stick your hand in there, man, there's snakes, And then you're saying, no, there's no snakes in there. And they're like, smell the reptile poop and see the mouse carcasses. Dude, there's snakes in there. And we were saying, no, man, that's not the way this is going to work for us. And it wasn't a bravery thing. We didn't have any choice. And so the kind of, when you have a few supporters in what you're doing, and if it's wild, they seem 1,000,000 feet tall. So all you people I'm mentioning, and some I'll even forget in the moment, but it's not small to us. Paul Hunter, dude, you have no idea how encouraging you've been in my life. And I thank you, brother. Brandon Babineau. Again, I don't even have words to start with you, dude. I don't even have words to begin to start what you mean to me in my life and how much you've encouraged unconventional risk in my heart. And Tony Thompson. Dude, here's this guy. Tony's a hard ass, you know. Tony's he says everything's right on his head, and there's a lot of beauty in what he does because it's just true, so you know where you're at. So when Tony just called me out of the blue through the years, and he just, man, I just want to thank you. And, you know, here I'm going through something, and I want to talk to you about it. Tony, you have no idea what that did for my confidence in those times that you were calling me. When, dude, I was broken. Like, if there was Ken and Barbie, I was broken. Like, they could have made dolls for how cracked up and ruined and smashed I was, you know. So thank you, man. Robert Davenport. Dude. Robert Davenport. You son of a bitch, man. I love you. You know Robert Davenport. You know a good man. You know a damn fine man who honestly tries, man. Like, so many people get life so easy and get life so hard, and some try and some don't. And Robert, you're one of those people, right? Like, if I had to you know, there's a handful of people I'll be like, hey, you need to take my naked wife and $1 million cash, and I need you to get them for 30 days across an ocean. Buddy, you're showing up with a happy woman and $1 million. And brother, I could rattle off 1,000,000 ways that you've proven that, and I thank you for every single one of them, and you know what they are. You're true, and I thank you for being true. Man. Vance Teets. When my buddy John died, a couple years ago now, I guess, a year, I don't know what it is. It's just too soon. You're the guy that reminded me that a man can be pure of spirit. There ain't nothing ugly in you, brother. And you keep that light shining, because, dude, oh my God, it's almost priceless, man. So, thanks. You know, and Investigator Nelson, Nick Nelson. Investigator Nelson, I got something to say to you. I know what you are and what you did for us when nobody was going to do it. You held the key, man. And I know they wait, you know, life's tough, and they wear you guys out, and they beat you up, and they give you impossible loads. But you saw the load in this one, and you chose to carry it, and you chose to do your job right. And it changed our life, because I was going to kill that son of a bitch. We were going to kill that son of a bitch if he walked for hurting our babies. And you stood up and you saw that. And you not only got justice, you spared me personally a life of hell. And I will never forget that. And you told me, you said, when I met with you, you had some hard things to say when you had to tell us that man was going to walk. And you brought up walking tall, and that whole story and the stick, and I placed so much into that, like, you have no idea. We're like, my God, please carry that stick, because what it means if you don't is
is just life's over for our family, and you know, in so many ways. And you carried that stick, man. And you did it. You made these things happen, by legally made these things happen, that just the system is too taxed, and they just don't happen, and monsters walk free. And monsters hurt other babies. And you said no. And you picked up your stick, and brother, we owe you just a debt of gratitude, and that's all I'm going to say about it. You know. And now I know how the law works and how difficult it is for you guys. I've never been so upset when you told me he was going to have to walk, and why. But you picked up the law, and you picked up the stick of justice, and you dealt with it. And brother, thank you. I gotta compose myself a second. And you know, and by the way, man, this video ain't about views or nothing. I don't care if anybody ever watches this or whatever. This is about a man breaking down in gratitude because because his brain and his heart and his guts are starting to heal up enough from all the self-abuse that he's starting to have gratitude and starting to see that, and starting to be thankful. And, you know, whether it looks a little like over emotion or whatever it looks like to you, I don't give a shit what it looks like. These people need to hear these words. And, or I need to say them, or whatever the deal is. I got to put them up, man. I got to put them up in the sky where they belong, because these are eternal things in my heart. And, Jared, out there, doing your thing. Thanks, man. Because when my buddy John died, you know the story. And you know you're rolling it. And brother, just thank you. Same with you, Amanda Lawson. You have no idea what you've done for me either. And done for my family as a result. And I just wanted to thank both you guys from the bottom of my heart. Honestly, thank you. And I pray for your mama daily. And Charlie, you hang in there, man. Just hang in there. Blake Price. You have no idea what you walked in on that day when you come over to my house. You said, "Oh, I'm coming right now." I wanted to crawl out of my skin because I was deeply ashamed of who I was and who I had become. And all the things that were against me, I was believing like a fool. And when you came up, you came to my house, and you brought nothing but love, dude. You brought nothing but joy, and you brought nothing but support and beauty. And you always have. Always. And brother, thank you for that. I'm going to make you proud. I'm going to stand for some things here. Liliana Di Giacomo. I don't have words for what to can't fully talk about all of this yet because Lily DiGiacomo, I love you, and thank you, and thanks for where you chose to be strong. You have no idea how freaking awesome you are and how strong you are, and I just knowing what you did, it makes me feel like there is something good and strong out there. I know there's something good, but I forgot there was something strong, and you're it, man. Tag, you are it, girl. Thank you. You saved your mom's life. selflessly and without any condemnation. I have no idea how you did it. Thank you. And Trooper, man, I miss you. Dude, you have no clue. You know, you and I have never had a conversation where you've let it be about the weather. You've never let anything not mean anything. I just don't know how to depart to you how important that is in this world, that the choices that you make and the impact they have on people. And it just doesn't seem like it when you're a kid running around, you know. It seems like being a kid's hard, but you and Lily got it nailed, man. And Free and Will, what a picture. What a picture, man. You guys, it's like if you're watching somebody jog with ankle weights, and y'all have so many things come against you, but you just run, man. You keep running, and I've seen those weights come off, and I've seen them go back on, and I just see you keep running, cause you know where the line is, and you're bringing B there. And I'm honored to be a part of your life, both of you guys. And Will, look into my eyes. These aren't broken eyes. These are just crushed eyes. When I'm trying to fathom all these things that have happened and where we're at with it now. You, sir, like Tanner, are a man. You're what it's supposed to be. Don't ever let this world tell you any different. You never hear another word from me. If I get on this bike right here and fall into a Florida sinkhole in Texas, never, ever, 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 ever let that be spoken against or diminished in you boys. Zane, son, you're my wingman, you know that. And you stuck a flag in the ground, son, beside me, even when you had no reason to. And you stuck a flag and you never walked away from it. I just I don't even know what to fucking do with that, man. Here I'm trying to raise up a man, and you know, this boy comes along and he just mans up and puts a flag by his dad and says, no, I'm going to look what's in the pudding. I'm never going to disparage anybody. I'm never going to talk bad about anybody. I'm just going to stand here. People don't do that, son. They just don't in this world. Because there's just so much greed and there's so much worrying about what everybody thinks. And you just never did that. And I'm just eternally grateful for that. And Josie, my God. Let me tell you something about Josie Johnson. When it's time to be real, this kid will put 3 stripes on each side of her face and go in to the heart of the matter and return victorious. You have shown me a bravery and a willingness that I never had. So I didn't put it in you. You know? You're a woman after God's heart. Just like your sister. You all have different skills, you know, different talents by the manifold of grace, but you're both realizing them into your lives and manifesting them into your lives and bringing them, allowing them into your lives in a way that's just Y'all don't know. Y'all don't see. Y'all didn't see that when it was all going down. I forgot everything. And I forgot everything good. And all these things just kept coming and coming and crushing and crushing and crushing. And for every victory you guys would have, it was the only joy. Thank you. Dennis and Maggie. And Willie. And y'all always been my friends, and you're part of the Wogans to me, these conquerors, these people who just always supporting, always supportive, and always lifting, always taking time out, and it means the world to Bonnie and I. Everybody's so damn busy, me included. And it just matters when you reach out to people and just take a minute and say, hey, thanks, that's good, or, and we want to thank you guys for that. And Ronnie McBrayer, dude, I got no words for what I feel, how thankful I am for you. I can't even begin to explain it. You'd say it better anyway, so you just know, man. And I know you know because you're shown that by a community, because you've earned that from a community, because you consistently pour into a community at the detriment of your career at times, because you're just not about bullshit. Ben Burgess and Shanda. Bo, we had a run, huh? I got this to say. Thank you. Lord, you don't know how many times he pulled up to my house, Ben, where I'm like, oh my God, here comes Ben. And I didn't want to hear it, Ben. Oh Lord, I didn't want to hear it. Because it burned. Everything you had to say to me burned, dude. Because I was angry and bitter. And it just had so many things God was cooking off of me. I couldn't take another anything. But in retrospect, I look back and see the things that you were doing were never, ever for you. They were never for me to help you with something, or for me to make something of it for you. Or they were never anything selfish. They were never anything. You were always trying to do the right thing by me and for my family. And you didn't need me to join your church. You didn't need me to share what I do for a living to make you look better. Or you didn't, just none of it. Which, if you need somebody to do what they do for a living to help you make you look better, there's nothing wrong with promoting things. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that Ben didn't. And I saw the value in it. And, or in retrospect, I totally see why and what you were doing. And sorry if I seem distracted. There's a dude looking at me standing out here in a field like a moron. But Ben, Shanna, man, all you crazy kids, thank you guys. Josh Bartlam. Then we'll make this short and sweet, Josh. You are what I hope to become in my spirit. And I thank you for everything, every sacrifice you make to have that. And everything you do is valuable to people. Everything you do is valuable to people. My children love you, dude. My children look up to you in a way, it's a little bit of what would Josh do in them, And that's cool. That's not, putting you up there with Jesus. I'm just saying that's what they say. And that is awesome, man. And thank you. And Jenny, you too. You guys have been nothing but great to us. And you find out who your friends are, man. You go through a season and when you can no longer do anything for anybody. And I had some completely turn on me when they realized I was no longer of value to some idea that they had, or some lofty hope for me. It was just all their hope and their loft and their thing, and whatever. I ain't even condemning those people, but I am not going to be you know, waste any more time on it at all. And not that they don't need my grace or forgiveness, but I didn't talk about any of that. So if I forgot you on this list, I've saved somebody for last, but some earthly dwelling people for last, but prepare for some truth, and you just buckle up. All I got to say, and the last people I want to just call out is Mom and Mike. I'm not even going to bring up those in the past because that have gone on, because they know. But Mom and Mike, on this earth, you guys, like I said, kind of like I said to Mike on his birthday, that letter I sent over, is that anybody can have a kid, anybody can fly right, anybody can get over something and stay loving, anybody can have a kid, anybody can get married. Man, it takes juggernauts. It takes machines, man. It takes a heart of gold to just do it year after year after year after year. And, you know, all of these tears you're seeing, they're just honesty tears, and they're not sad tears. They're like, they're this heart and this mind and this body coming back alive and just being thankful and needing to say these things, needing to, like, have it documented. I don't even care if anybody ever watches this. I don't care if anybody ever watches this channel again. Like, the things we have to do and say have nothing to do with pandering to the bullshit anymore of anything. It has to do with lifting some ideals that that you placed in me and my kids, and just year after year, day after day, hour after hour, tragedy after freaking tragedy, just slam into the ground with stuff, and you guys just get back up and you put other people first, always. And it just is like, it created this thing in our family of this, like, insurmountable joy. I had the devil himself come against me, and even in my darkest places, like, I knew insurmountable joy was there. I didn't feel it, but that doesn't mean it's not real, you know. And now it's all coming back. And so, thank you guys. I love you for your life example, and just as simple as that, you know. You know, like, you know, you guys, we all pass on, and one day you'll pass on, and I feel like you're, you know, like the legacy could be summarized like in a word, like, yep. Just right on your tombstone. I hate to bring up your tombstone, but you guys are healthier than most people my age. Yep. Did you do that? Yep. We did it all, and we did it with grace and poise and dignity and kindness and tears and laughter, and then we did it in wealth, and we did it in poverty, we did it in forgiveness, and we did it in rectifying. We did it with justice. I mean, you guys just did it. And if you're not, you know, if I haven't said anything to you guys, you know, you in particular, whoever you are, you're on the list, you know, and you know where it's at. And Bonnie Johnson. When you see that girl, you just give her a hug. I guarantee you she deserves it. I love you, honey. And so that's I'm going to stop there, and here's the last thing. A lot of the things we're going to have to say are going to be a little bit whatever. There's just going to be raw, they're going to be true, and they're going to be, some of it's going to be motorcycle-y, all the stuff we're going to be doing, and all these, we're going to some of the finest riding in the world. and we're gonna live in that space and heal our family. And Robert, I got your boy. I got his urn and I got him, and I'm taking him to what he wanted to do. And if you don't mind, I'm gonna run with him for a while, okay? And I want to talk to you about where he's at in a little bit, you know, and then at some point I'll know when it's right. And I'll turn him loose, okay? And I get the value of it. And I get your loss in a way, not entirely. Nobody ever knows that loss, okay? So we got him. So some of the things we're going to be doing and saying, they're, you know, and they're not allowed on these platforms like YouTube, and you can say anything you want once you're making everybody a bunch of money, but we don't make any money. We're just relying on God to support this in this ministry in a way, and we'll just see what happens there, you know. But some of the things we're going to say aren't allowed, and are, you know, so that if we come up with we're going to come up with a private Facebook group soon, and we may even do some things on Patreon, and then, you know, they're not to make money. Believe me, if I was about money, I can make $100,000 a year from my living room with PJs on. This ain't about comfort, man. I'm done with comfort. This life, anyway. And so, if we do that, look for the closed Facebook group, and look for go storymotoadv.com, and there'll always be details about that as it comes up. And if there's a charge to be in groups or whatever, it's, trust me, we're not money grubbing, man. This is, you know, we've got 50 videos, and just no telling. About 16 hours a day for 8 months. We reached this epiphany and just moved away from a way of death for us and into a way of life for us. And I think I made $20, you know. So we're if this were about money, 16 hours a day times $75 to $100 an hour, I could make a lot of dang money if I wanted to. But there was no purpose in it. And in a lot of ways, it's just lifting up things I think are part of the problem, you know, so it's just a tough spot. Anyway, so if you see that stuff and you see there's a couple $1 charge, join a Facebook group or something like that, if you even give a shit about this stuff, you know, whatever. But if you do, that's why it is, because these bikes got to have gas, and we got to eat, and shoes fall apart, you know. And but we're going to people, and we're going to find them, as many as we can. We're going to lift them up. And we're going to try to resource the things that are holding them down. And you're not talking about taking away people's bootstraps, trust me. I'm just talking about I finally learned what it means to get completely down and feel dead, and then begin to feel life again. And we're going to go make sure that we do whatever we can to make sure other people know that too. So, you know, and that's it. In closing, here's I just got to say, it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll.